Hello, guys, and welcome to another solo episode of Evolve by Erika, the podcast. I'm so excited to be here with you today. I actually put up a question box today on Instagram and I got a lot of questions. I was thinking at first about just seeing what topics were coming up mostly for you and doing just a divine message based off of one of them. But I figured there's so many more good questions. Like, let's just get into all of them. Before we get started, I wanted to give you a little bit of a life update. It has been not a full month yet that this space has been open, which is crazy. Like it feels like it has been here all along. And at the same time, it feels brand new. It's been such an incredible experience. And I feel like it's taken everything of our practice and our community to another level. Even if you just consume the meditations through the app, it just feels like there's a whole other level present because we have like this home and this space that holds this energy. Inside, it truly does feel like a portal, and I feel like you can feel that whether you're virtual or whether you're in person. But it's been really fun and it's been exciting to see how it has evolved already from the beginning. I think the biggest lesson I've learned is that you do not need to have all of the answers before taking a really big leap. Like this was obviously a very big investment. It was a really big life change. It was a really humongous step for me. And it was kind of bananas that I didn't have a set plan. I didn't know who would teach there. I didn't know how often I wanted to teach there. Like it actually, in hindsight, it sounds crazy. But what we know here in this community, and what I'm going to remind you in case you need to hear it for yourself, is that when you are aligned energetically to your purpose, to your intuition and your inner knowing, logical goes out the window and the intuitive hits that you get is all you can really listen to. And the really beautiful thing about our practice and about my journey for me personally, and what I hope for anyone to experience who goes on this meditation journey with this practice, is that in the beginning, you're going to wonder what is fear and what is intuition. And that's going to be something that you wonder about and something that you really want to crack the code to. And as you continue to be so radically honest with yourself, and as you continue to do the deep work every morning, peel back the layers and listen to the voice of your soul, it becomes so apparent. And you will be able to see so clearly without question what is fear, which will eventually hold you back from really pursuing all that you're meant for, and what is your intuition. And by following the intuition, it unlocks so much of what you're meant for and so much of what's destined for you. And the truth is, what I've also learned is that so much greatness, so much excitement, so much fulfillment is on the other side of fear. So anytime you experience fear before making a big decision, before taking a big step, before doing what feels aligned to you, just know that that is such a deep invitation for you to truly step in to the unseen. Because a lot of the time we have fear when we don't know exactly what's on the other side of it. There's like a risk, right? There's a gamble. We're not really sure what's on the other side. But when we can live in this space of understanding life really is not that serious. It really isn't that serious. We have a short time here. Time is something that we could consider ourselves racing against or trying to work with. And when we're faced with fear, knowing it doesn't have to be that serious, it actually really isn't that scary. And what I find to be so much scarier is not doing and not following the inner voice and the intuition within. So I hope that inspires you. If there's anything that you are having fear come up about, or any big life shift that you're experiencing, I would love for you to write in and share with me. And I would do a whole podcast just talking about facing those fears and helping you to overcome them. And the cool part is once you start to do it, it's like, okay, what can I do next? when I was going through the idea of opening the space, not opening the space, and like kind of going back and forth with it, my brother was like, "What are you scared of? You already did the scariest thing. You already left your job. Like, you left your job. You're on this mission to do what aligns to your soul. And like, yeah, opening a space, like the biggest risk, what is money, like that physical, like other than that, what else is really risky to you? And when you have a root chakra imbalance, which I did in the past before I found my practice and really balanced my chakras, that can feel like everything. Like, what do you mean? Like, a financial reason is the only reason, and one and only reason why you would do something or not do something. But as you start to move your energy into your upper chakras, and as you start to have this more of an observing view of your life, becoming more of the observer, you start to realize it really isn't that scary. And we have one opportunity to do all that we wish for, and why not just go for it? So it's been really exciting. It's put me into this space of the deepest sense of gratitude, but also humility. I feel so humbled for what the universe has helped me to co-create. I certainly didn't do this on my own. Like, I look back and I'm like, whoa, we got all of this built out, up and running in like 3 to 4 weeks. And it was a whirlwind. And I just realized how much universal support I really felt, and I know I have. And that has reminded me of the message that, like, we're truly not doing anything alone ever. We can feel on this journey that we're alone, but we're never alone, because we have a team of spirit guides. We have the universe that's supporting us along the way. And when we start to tap into that, when we start to talk to them, when we start to ask them to be our partner, you will see a next level of support come through. And that's what I did with this. I knew that this was bigger than me. This was more about community. It was more about coming together. It wasn't so much about me and what I wanted, but what I felt like the community could need, and what the world is starting to need right now. And I said, and I've said this before, I told the universe, I was like, you're going in as a partner with me. I'm going to need your support to do this. And that's it. And I knew in that moment when I said that, it was done, because of the relationship that I've built with Source and with the universe. And it's just really cool to reflect on this, because, guys, only a few years ago, maybe 7 years ago, 8 years ago, I was living in such a state of fear. I never dreamed to have the relationship I do with a higher source. And so much can change when we really go deep within ourselves, connecting to ourselves. And of course, I think the practice has everything to do with the space that I'm in, the relationship I have with Source, and everything can change from there. So no matter where you are right now, where you want to go, you can have that relationship, you can have that connection, and it all starts within you, because the divine energy lives within you. And it's about tapping into that, unlocking it, and then using that as your partnership and connecting to it as your partnership. So that's what I wanted to share. I have a lot of great questions from my Instagram poll that I feel like kind of relate a little bit to some of the things I started sharing, or go a little bit deeper into some of the things I started sharing. So I wanted to get into that. I'm really excited. Where should we begin? Okay. I'm just going to go in the order in which they came in. So the first one is, what was the hardest part of taking your business from online to in-person and hybrid? Honestly, the hardest part was all of the fear that I projected on it. So before opening the space, I was nervous that all of the members on the app would think like, this is my new thing that I'm going to focus on, and the app is going to be number 2. And I never wanted to come across that way, because that was never my intention. But of course, as you're building something, naturally your energy is going to go there. So I think the fear of how it was going to look to members or other people, or how it was going to come across online, I was scared that it would look like my number one priority, and like almost like a sequence of events, like, oh, she started an app and now she's opening a space and focusing on a space. But really, it has been beautiful. Like I think it's showing up exactly how I would want it to, how I dreamed of it to. And I couldn't even visualize it looking like this than when I was in fear. It's not sequential. It's all living as one. I'm continuing to grow the app and give so much to the app now that we have the space and now that we have like our home where we meditate, where we go live, where we record the meditations, and it feels even stronger than ever, that connection to the online community. And our in-person community, we have a lot of members coming to visit. We have people coming from all over to come and take class in person, which is really cool too. So I think the hardest part was actually the fear I projected, how I thought it would look, and when really I just had to trust. And that's what I did. I spent so many nights being like, am I creating another Instagram? And I had so much resistance around that. I did not want to create another Instagram because social media takes a lot of my energy, and I'm always trying to find the best ways to continue to share. But I think after 2020, there's been this high demand of create and pump out content and follow the trends and all of these things. And I really always had to come back to my alignment, like what really feels aligned for me and what feels valuable to share for me. So when I thought about starting a whole new Instagram, I was like, oh, hell no. Like I am not doing that. And I actually have an amazing support who's running the Spaces Instagram, which has been incredible. It's just like very effortless and seamless. We have a whole structure set up. And it's working out. And I gave up the idea that I needed to know that before I opened the space. What would have really stopped me from opening the space was if I wanted all of those details answered. And I spent many nights with Vinny being like, but I still don't know this. And I still don't know my strategy for this. And I still don't know this. And at some point, I stopped thinking about the logic and I just listened and felt into the energy within and just said, just do it. And everything else will show up. The next step will show up for you as you take your aligned action. And it really did. And that's why I am not the person who's like I'm very intuition led. I'm not like talking to business coaches. I'm not talking to anyone outside myself and my intuition for what I need to do. And I think everyone learns and grows in a different way. And I love the idea of like continuously educating yourself and continuously learning and growing. And I also think you need to know your style. You need to know what kind of person you are, what you need to do to be your most confident self. And what I have found is that so much of my answers, so much of my clarity comes from my morning practice. And that's why I dedicated my whole career around this, because it's true, it's facts for me, and it will do it for you too. When you really have a dedicated practice where you show up for yourself, you quiet the noise and you listen within. Your business coach will show up there. The healer within will show up there. Everything you need, your intuition will activate there. Your past traumas and patterns will heal there. And it all comes from there. So I guess the hardest part was really the fear I projected on it before I actually took the step. Everything else has been quite seamless, and I'm very grateful for it. And I truly sit and feel such a deep sense of gratitude for it. And I thank the space for that as well, for that energy. Someone asked steps on how to mentally check in with myself. I think this is a really good question because some of us who might not have a practice, we may be a little unaware of actually how we're feeling. Even if we do have a practice, if we're going through a stressful time in our life, we might not actually know the stress that we're holding on to until a physical symptom arises. I recently had an experience like this. So for steps on how to check in with yourself mentally, seeing where you're at, I would carve out time to get quiet. I would carve out time to listen to something guided, connect to your breath. I would carve out time to go into nature. Allow yourself to rest, because when we rest, we can truly feel what's coming up for us. If we're constantly going and our cortisol is just taking us on a ride, we actually are a little bit numb to how we truly feel. So taking time to rest, to recharge, to do things that are very passive that can help you tap into your parasympathetic state would be very helpful for a mental check-in. Okay, next one. This is so funny and like so different. So we're going to take a little sharp turn to the right for a moment. Honestly, I always wonder about your gorgeous hair. Thank you very much. The color is stunning and inspo deets. Okay. So I love how you shared this compliment. Thank you so much. So my hair care routine, what do? I do get my hair colored. I go to Dominique at De La Mer in Belmar if you're local to Long Island. But if you're not, I basically do a balayage and a hair painting, and I don't allow her to put any of the dye on my roots or close to my scalp because our scalp absorbs a lot of whatever's on it, and I don't want to absorb any of those chemicals. So she'll actually put cotton in my scalp for me and go around it. And the great thing about balayage is like it's lived in. Your roots can be darker and the rest of it could be a little lighter. I am due. So if you're watching this on YouTube, you might be like, girl, your roots are really dark. I am due for some sunshine or a color, but that's what we do. And it works really well for me. And then the same with the toner. When she puts the glaze on, I just make sure that they know not to put it on my scalp and they just go around it. And it makes me feel like it's cleaner. And I would literally leave the hair salon when I was getting like a full head of highlights. I was going to someone before this who did not know what she was doing. And I think she was saying I was doing balayage, but she was doing like more like highlights and it was very close to my scalp. Then it was growing out. I had to go more often, yada, yada, yada. But I would leave and literally feel like the toxic load on my body. Like I felt it from smelling, inhaling the chemicals, it being on my scalp. Not good. So I started working with someone who honors my intuition, who doesn't care being asked or directed on how to do her craft, because I think that's, sometimes with artists, like they definitely want to be honored for their work and they deserve to be. But I think it's important for someone like me to find someone who's willing to hear me out, to know that my intuition guides me and to do whatever it is I feel most comfortable with. And she really is that person for me. So I'm very grateful for it. I also love washing my hair with the Vita Clean Shungite shampoo. And I also really love Under Luna. It is super clean. At first, it feels really weird in your hair, or at least it did for me. It felt almost like drying, like dish soap. And I was like, this is going to like dry my hair out. It doesn't. It actually perfectly cleans. Your hair will never feel so clean in its life. And it's a super clean shampoo and conditioner. So I really love Under Luna. And then one other thing I do on my dirty hair days, I take the Juice Drench from All Use and ALLYOOS. I put it throughout my hair and I'll like slick it back with a bun that day. It's a deep conditioning and it's done wonders for my hair. More things are coming to me. So I don't like to do a lot of heat on my hair. I love to let my hair naturally dry and then style it. Easy for me to say. I have super straight hair, so I understand that everyone's different and you might need a little bit more heat on your hair just to tame it. But I try to limit the heat and I sleep in a sleepy tie every night, which is satin, and it leaves your hair feeling so soft and silky. It's actually crazy how that works, being that it's on satin. It like changes the texture of my hair and it will hold and make my style last longer. So if I did put heat on my hair for the next 2 days, I really don't need to. So those are my hair tips. Okay, the next question, another sharp turn, manifesting and timeline jumping tips. My most recent idea of manifestation is feeling so good, doing what makes you feel so aligned that you're organically a match for what you want. And I think a lot of manifestation also lives in the space of creation. So when you are putting your energy towards creating something, whether it is visualization and dreaming about what you want to bring in, whether it's actually writing about it, journaling about it as if you already are creating it or have it, or you're actually creating something in the physical, that helps to bring whatever it is you want closer to you. We are meant to create, especially women, but all of us are meant to tap into this energy of creation. We're happiest when we're in the mode of creation. Manifestation is creation. It's something coming from a thought and creating it into the 3D realm. So the more we could tap into that energy, the more we could feel good, the more we're going to manifest. Sometimes that might look like learning something new, trying a new hobby, trying that thing that you've always wanted to try, something that sparks joy and brings so much happiness to you. That will increase your frequency. And when we're at a high frequency, we're going to more likely be a match for our desires and for what we want to bring in. The other question part of this was timeline jumping tips. So timeline jumping, when we go into our practice, we can enter the quantum field. And it's that space of nothingness. It's that space between time. It's the space where the past, present, and future lives. And I believe that in that space, when we can truly embody the feeling, the deep sense of gratitude for what we're wishing to bring in, that's where we can narrow the gap between where we are now and where we want to be, or whatever it is we want to bring in. And that is the space where we could really take a timeline jump. With that too, I think staying very aligned to your intuition, following your gut, doing what feels very aligned to you is also going to help you do that. And sometimes it is facing the fear, doing the things that are really scary, putting yourself over that edge of fear and saying yes to something can help create a really big timeline shift as long as it's truly aligned to your soul. So those would be my tips for manifestation and timeline jumping tips. The next question is the best relationship advice you'd give your younger self. I love this. The best relationship advice I recently gave someone is that your relationship is going to be a mirror of the healing that you have done within yourself. The more you heal yourself, the better you become, the more aligned with your higher self you are, your relationship is going to be directly impacted by that. And this is for an intimate relationship, a romantic relationship, a friendship, a family relationship, all of it. And I've seen it firsthand. I think the other part is seeing the other person as you. I think a lot of the times where we fall short is we come into our relationship with either baggage from past relationships, a fear of it not going the way we want it to go, a fear of us not having this like picture of what we always dreamed of in our relationship, or baggage from maybe our parents' relationship or other people's relationships or programs or beliefs that we've taken on. And the more we can approach that other person as a best friend, as a family member, as a person who we just love selflessly, unconditionally, the more the relationship will benefit. And I think so much in our relationships, we're thinking about ourselves, and we need to realize it's not just about us. That's why it's a relationship. It involves two people, like a relay race, like tag, let's do this together. And we're working together to, create something together. So I think that would be the best relationship I have, is really doing your inner work. It's going to impact your relationship. It's only going to make that better. The more honest you could be with yourself, the healthier your relationship's going to be. The more you can confront your own ego and see your shortcomings and see where you need to grow without getting defensive, the stronger the relationship's going to be. And that's where a lot of growth happens for everyone involved. The next question is, have you ever done a parasite cleanse? Any alternate wellness topics? Okay, So I actually have not done a parasite cleanse. I bought Para X a while ago from Symbiotica. I was listening to a crazy podcast with Shervin, the founder of Symbiotica, on Almost 30. And he was sharing about parasites and how they impact your brain and sharing about animals. I think it's like a rat and a cat or something. I don't know. You need to go back and listen to the episode. But it basically was giving an example how these parasites were taking over the brain of the animals and they were like almost self-harming or forfeiting because of the parasite takeover in their body, which is wild. So I bought Para X, but I was trying to find as much balance in my body as possible that I didn't want to introduce any heavy duty supplements at the time. And I do this a lot. Like I'll be guided to get a product and I'll keep it in my house for a very long time until I'm finally ready to use it. And that's kind of what I've done for the parasite cleanse. I haven't actually done it yet, but it's in my house and it's there waiting for me whenever I'm ready. I know a lot of people parasite cleanse around the full moon. My friend Victoria, many of you may know her. She is very into parasite cleansing. She's had amazing experiences, but I personally haven't. And it's not something I am doing right now. I think any cleanse, any alternate wellness, supplements or things you're guided to, I think you have to very much listen intuitively to yourself and know when it's the time and place because there's so much out there for us right now. There's so much we can do. And I think it's most important to really listen within and be like, okay, is this for me right now? Is this something I think I actually need? And move from that space rather than being very impacted by what anyone else is doing. So that's how I approach that. I don't know, like, how much alternate wellness I do. I take supplements. Like it's just whatever's part of my life is so deeply part of my life. I don't even see it as alternative. But acupuncture is something I do religiously that I love and swear by. And the state of peace and relaxation I go to there is incredible. I know my practice helps to really deepen that space as well. So I guess that's one thing that I'm really, really into. But for the most part, I don't know. I can't think of anything else at the moment. Okay, so someone else wanted to talk a bit about starting your own business and vision, which I did talk about earlier. I think my number one advice would be follow your gut. Have so much fun while you're doing it and while you're bringing it into fruition. Don't take yourself so seriously. Do not for a second worry about what anyone else is going to say or think of you because this is your opportunity. You got this idea for a reason. Go for it. Follow that and have fun with it. It's yours for a reason. Bring it into fruition. See it through. There is no such thing as failure. You trying something out, you going for whatever it is you wish to create is success, period, the end. And just, I would say have fun with it, follow your intuition and let that guide the way. And I think that's a really big theme for the age of energy, the Aquarian age, as we embark on businesses. Things are changing and your intuition is key. Your inner wisdom has everything it needs to guide you to where you're meant to go. So follow that. I loved this question. Connecting with divine source. I want to feel connected to something bigger. I had this really interesting experience. I met someone who is very famous and well known, known to be very spiritual. And we had a very interesting interaction where I wasn't met with the energy I would ever think this person would meet someone with. I was very taken aback. I almost felt attacked. And in that moment, I felt a divine presence come over me. My heart rate did not increase. I did not turn red. I did not get reactive. I did not get defensive. I felt something bigger than me come over me and lead me to my response. And I was recently thinking about this because I was talking to a family member who I think is in this stage of really connecting to this divine energy and source within them. And I think all of a sudden, you begin to feel it within yourself. But in order to get there, it's opening the conversation. It's having the awareness that that is within you. And you will start to see the human reaction of yourself and then the divine response that lives within you. And in order to grow and connect to this divine source, simply know that it's there. Honor it. Honor that it exists already within you. Honor the signs and synchronicities that you see in your life, out and about in your life, and start to talk. Like I always am talking to the universe and my spirit guides. I'll be in the car talking to them. If I feel like I want to generate more abundance or gratitude, I will just start talking about all the things I'm grateful for, thanking source for it. Open up the conversation, honor and know that it's there, and you will start to feel that stronger and stronger and have a spiritual practice. Tuning in every day with these mantras, tuning into the source within you, the energy within you, that's going to activate that more and more inside of you. And when you couple those two things together, I am certain that you will start to really feel, see, and experience it. Okay, our last question for today is how to start a meditation journey. One of my favorite questions. Simply giving yourself 5 extra minutes in the morning. In the morning, you're going to get the biggest bang for your buck. So it's going to help you be less reactive during the day, more patient, have more energy. It's going to last you. That energy is going to go with you all day. Before you interact with anyone else, you're taking care of yourself. So 5 minutes in the morning, 5 minutes earlier than you usually wake up, set your alarm, have a space. Maybe it's in your bed. Maybe it's right outside of your bed. Have a designated space where you're going to practice. Download the Evolve by Erika app. If you're not going to do that, I'll give you other options too. But if you're on the app, go into the 5-minute meditations or the first 7 days. I have a whole start here section to literally guide you through your journey. I actually had someone message me today and she said, I am loving the first 21 days. I'm doing them right now. They are short, they're simple, but they're very effective and I'm feeling it already. It's all there for you and it's very thoughtfully curated. Just set the time aside and just start. Don't think into it too much. Don't spend so much time picking out, what meditation should I do? What am I feeling? If you are spending more than 3 minutes choosing meditation, just click on the next one you see and just get the energy moving. And when you connect to your breath in the morning, you are going to feel complete difference throughout the day. If you're guided to other styles of meditation, maybe you just want to play a sound bath and start breathing long, slowly, and deeply. Maybe you set a timer for 3 minutes where you journal and connect to your breath. In the beginning, I would just journal and talk to the universe and thank the universe for all that I had, and then set intention for everything I wanted to bring in. And that was my practice. And it got me really far until I found Kundalini, and then that was like the rocket ship, because this is known to be one of the most powerful and potent practices we can do to move our energy. So that's what I would do. Don't overthink it. Just get to it. 3 to 5 minutes in the morning, and you're quickly going to see you want to spend more time there. And organically, it's going to grow to 10 minutes and maybe even 15 minutes. And if it doesn't and it stays at 5, wonderful. There's a bigger difference between 0 and 3 minutes than there is between 3 and 60 minutes of meditation, because you actually got yourself there to do it. So that would be my advice for beginners. I also am going to be doing a beginner series in June, I believe, or the end of May. So I'll keep you posted on that if you or anyone you know is interested. But I had so much fun answering these questions. I thank you guys for writing in, and I can't wait for next time. Thank you so much for being here, and I hope to see you next time on our next episode. May the long time sun shine upon you. Sat Nam.